So like they mentioned, make sure you take a look at what sheet it is at the very top. Is it general? Is it, what is it that you're logging your cases on? Okay, and again, I would highly suggest having them out on the side so that you know where you're going. Okay, you're gonna put the date, which is the date of the procedure, okay? You're gonna write out the procedure name. Now, I would make sure that you put some details in here, okay? Because, especially when we start talking about cysto cases, so if it's just a cysto case, it can only count as a diagnostic case and it can only count as an S2. So a cysto is literally, I put a scope in, I look around, I pull it out. But if I did something else, like I put a stent in, I took out a stone, I used a laser, some of these things, then it counts as a GU case. It counts as a genitourinary case, and I can count it as an S1. So if you just write cysto, when you did all these other things, we're gonna go, wait a minute, it's not logged on the right sheet, and it has to be an S2, and you're like, no, but we did blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, we gotta write that stuff down, So make sure you write the details. And sometimes too, it'll tell us a lot more information about the case. Now we're gonna be in your room for a lot of your cases, but not every case that you scrub, okay? So make sure that you're giving us quite a bit of information. You can definitely use abbreviations, so TAH, BSO, things like that, your standard abbreviations. But don't abbreviate too much, okay? Your surgeon, you're gonna write that, your preceptor name, your role, and you can see that at the top, the abbreviations that we want you to use. S1 for first scrub, S2 for second scrub, and then O for observation. And then where it says instructor initials, each week you're gonna turn your progression notebook into us. What time is class on Fridays? Do you guys know that?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, okay? So before 10 o'clock. It's not an excuse to be late for Sharon's class because you're dropping off your progression notebook. Okay, you need to just stop in the office and drop it by our desk. If you have any questions, that's a great time for you to ask us those things. But what you're gonna do is log your cases for the week, and then on Fridays, we will go through it. We'll make sure you logged it on the right sheet, that you wrote down the correct role, and then we will initial beside where you logged it, okay? So I personally will not initial unless you have a green card, okay?
Right.
So we really shouldn't be logging cases on the actual log until you physically have the green card back from your preceptor.
This is not the spot to keep track of, I scrubbed this many cases that day, okay, because what if you never get the green card back? So this isn't the spot to keep your journal, or when Casey was talking about keep track somewhere, don't do it on here.
So when we log the green card, then after you finish writing everything down, then you'll paperclip to each sheet the green cards that are logged on that sheet, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that I paperclip all my green cards on the very front. It's each individual sheet where the case is logged, you're paperclipping the green card to that, okay? So if I have general cases, then I have GYN cases, then I have ortho cases, whatever it is, then they're gonna be attached to each of the sheets that they're logged on.
One thing I'm gonna say about this, especially the distance people, keep these in order as they go here. Don't just put them all into a pile, because when I come and see you, you may have 20 cases and 20 green cards. And if you just have a stack of, and I've had this, well, they just give me a stack of green cards and go here. Seriously, it could take me a half an hour to try and organize everything just to figure out what you have. So when you do these, try and put them in the order that you have listed right here. So then I just have to go here, 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 because we do go through each one and verify, because we've had people who tried to alter. This is documentation. We've got them in the cupboards. Are they still back here?
Mm-hmm.
Right here, that we have to keep for 5 years. This is AST. If it's not right, it doesn't count. Plain and simple. Make sense?
Okay. All right, so I have some examples up here, and let's see if you guys can figure out how I log it. Okay, so before these case logs also, you may have seen there were a bunch of sheets that had various different specialties and lots of procedures listed on them. So that's what I was talking about. So maybe you scrubbed a carpal tunnel and you're like, I don't really know what specialty that is. Is it ortho? Is it neuro? What is it? Where do I log it? Those sheets are going to tell you that. So they're white and they're just right in front of where we put the logs. Okay, so does everybody see where those are? Yeah. So it just has each of the specialties listed and then just has various different cases. Now, do you think every single case is on here? No. Okay. So if you have questions, ask your instructor. Maybe it's something new. Okay, and we'll kind of figure out the best place where we're going to log it. A good indication is the type of surgeon. Okay, so if Dr. Weebush is doing a case, it's probably going to be GU because that's the kind of surgeon that he is. Okay, so it just kind of depends. But that's kind of a good indication. So that's a good place to start if you're not sure what type of procedure it is. Okay, so you can look up here, here's an example. Okay, so this is Susie, she scrubbed this carpal tunnel. She looked it up, she found out it was a neuro, so she would go to her neuro sheet, right? And then what rule would this be? So first scrub, so S1, right? So she's got 5 check marks up here. She has 1 down here also, but she has all the 5 up here. So sometimes, even when it is a first scrub, maybe you got to cut the suture at the end too or something like that. So that's okay, you just have some extra check marks down here, but all that really matters is how many are up here at the top, okay? So this would be an S1 that I would log that one as, correct? Okay, how about this one? Okay, so this is a laparoscopic right inguinal hernia repair with mesh. Obviously, that's a general case. So we have 3 check marks at the top and 3 check marks down here at the bottom. So what type of case would this be? Second scrub. So I log that as an S2. And then here, you know, it looks like her preceptor gave her some comments. Remember to keep the light cord at 12 o'clock. So that's another way that you're getting feedback from your preceptors. Do you think we really like it when our preceptors write great job down here? No. I mean, they might write that and then write something else, right? But if you just get great job on every green card, is that really going to help you improve for the next case? No. So don't think because your preceptor takes the time to write something down here, they're picking on you. Actually love them because they're actually going out of their way to give you feedback to help you be better next time. All right, how about this one? So, all right, here's a lap chole, general, obviously. We have 2 check marks up here and nothing down here. So observe, do I have to log it? Yes. Does it count towards anything? No, but I still have to log it, right? So this is probably what you're going to have the first couple of times because we're going to be circulating. So you might help verify the supplies, open things in the room, go through the case cart, and then you maintain sterile technique by not contaminating anything. You're in the unsterile role, but we still have to maintain sterile technique. So down here it says, thank you for your help positioning the patient. Next time you'll be able to find the equipment on your own. So in the beginning, when we circulate, we're going to be kind of with our circulating nurse running around, you know, gathering equipment, finding where I go to find the various different items that might need to be gathered for the case. Okay, and then this one, this last one, is a bilateral modified radical mastectomy with immediate reconstruction. So I have Dr. DeBakey and Dr. Smith. Okay, so I have a general case and a plastics case. Okay. So does this count as 1 case or 2 cases? 2. And if they're the same role, then you might just only have 1 green card. But if you had 2 different roles, so maybe you S1 one and you S2 the other one, I would probably have 2 green cards because obviously this isn't going to reflect 2 different roles. If it's the same though, you can just have 1 green card. So what would I log this one as? S1, okay? And it's going to be on both sheets. Okay, so you might say, well, how does that work? I'm supposed to paperclip my green card to the sheet and I have it logged on 2 different sheets, right? So a lot of times students will kind of make a note or put a sticky note on there and put logged also on plastic sheet, you know, and paperclip it to your general sheet or whatever, just so that you're communicating with your instructor about the documentation that you need on each of those. Okay. Other things too about green cards. So sometimes when we scrub like phacos, which are eye cases for cataracts, we'll do like 8, okay? And if you did the same role in every single one of those, you don't have to have 8 different green cards, okay? You can just have 1, they'll mark what skills you did, and then you can write times 8, but when you write it on the log, you need to write it 8 times.
So you can write times 8 on the corner of your green card.
Don't, when you're filling out your logs, don't do quotes.
Yeah, no.
You know, because like you did 3 carpal tunnels, don't go Dr. Cullen, carpal tunnel, quote, at the bottoms. Don't shortcut it. Write it out. This is like, again, documentation. And then also what we've had students do and have used it in the past is they've gone to other states to work, you know, and apply for jobs. And so they take their logs with them. You get a copy of your log. They've taken that to their interview and said, here's my exposure and my experience. So those observation cases counted because they're like, oh, you've been exposed to all kinds of cases and different things. and they were able to, and they use that as part of their interview, so that, I mean, that's awesome. So you don't want quotes everywhere, because they're going, taking some shortcuts here, but, you know, so write it out, take the time to write it out.
Yep, absolutely. But, and like we said, if you have the times 8, just write it 8 times, okay? Now, if you did, you know, 8 FACOs, but 3 of them were S2 and 5 of them were S1, then you would have 2 green cards, one that said times 3, they would mark it for S2, and then one that says times 5 for the ones that are marked as S1. Okay, so if you have different rules, you need to have different green cards for those. Okay, any questions about the green cards? So after you've turned your progression notebook in and we've initialed them, which happens on Friday, okay? So you're gonna come back after Sharon's class and pick up your progression notebook so that you have it for the weekend and you can bring it on Monday to clinical. We take our progression notebook with us every day to clinical, okay? Then you're gonna take off all the green cards that we've already initialed, and then there will be a place at each of the clinical sites where you can store your green cards, okay? And I would highly suggest leaving them at the site. They will be safe there, because I've had students where their kids have gotten into their green cards and colored all over them. They've, yeah, a dog ate them. You know, we've had some of these kinds of things. Well, at the end, you're required to turn in the 120 green cards for the 120 cases.
So everybody hears that. They're due, so it's not Clit Ed 1, you're done keeping them. We've had students think that, oh, we have to keep all the rest of them? Yes, for every single
For
green
9
card,
months.
for the rest of the program, you will keep, okay?
So, and there'll be a place at each site, and so I always tell my students, just take them from Clit Ed 1, keep them, take them to the Clit Ed 2 site, and put them in the box. Just keep them, okay? And so if you just keep them there, then you know where they are all the time, and you don't have to worry about keeping them someplace safe where somebody doesn't get into them. So you take them off, you file them on Monday, then we do a whole nother week of cases. We sign them off on Friday, you pick up your book, Monday morning, you pull them all off, you file them, okay? And I would keep them kind of chronologically too, that's the easiest way to try to find them. Or you can start grouping them by specialty from the very beginning if you want to do that too, because eventually we'll have to do that. Okay.
Distant students, you're just gonna have to find somewhere to keep yours, either at your
Someplace
clinical
safe.
site. or-
Usually each facility has a place you can keep them.
They got a little area for you.
Yep.
So we don't have to submit these online, we just wait until you come?
Yep.
Yeah, because Rick will come out and visit you guys or whoever.
Or your other
instructor is.
preceptor.
Yeah,
Well, this quarter and the next quarter would be Laura. But Kylie can go through them too. We've talked a little bit about that. Or we will talk about that.
All right, we'll take a little break.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, here's the clinical questionnaire. This is done, is due, what was it, we say the 14th? So you're gonna wanna take this to clinical
Friday.
with you on Wednesday, and we'll work on it Wednesday and Thursday.
Just
And
started at the end of this
basically
row, Cindy.
It's just a
This
little
row's covered.
orientation. Next Friday. Yeah.
You'll want one to fill out though, so you'll take this to clinical, so you can fill it out and then you can submit it online. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just to kind of get you used to, like, you know, where do you take the trash, where do you take the linen, where's my, where's, I don't know, where, equipment room, where do I find my gown and gloves, just to kind of orient you to the department where you're at, so, where do I put the dirty mops? Believe it or not, those first weeks that you're actually just circulating, the first day, it's just like, where do I take the trash? I mean, that could be a simple goal is trying to figure out where that's at, so.
So your first day clinical, you're gonna have green cards in your pocket, you'll have this, whatever we called it, questionnaire in your pocket, you might have a little notebook in your pocket.
Yeah, where's the crash cart, where's the really good hypothermia card, text and things like that to orient you to your department, so everybody's will be different. Break?